Hello again, this is our second progress video for our alpha for Lambda 4, aka Gentleman Turtles. And so basically a couple things have changed since our last alpha attempt. One thing you probably will notice is that we have everything in the scene is now a prefab. Anything that's a model that was a model previously is now a prefab, just to keep things simple and to keep part force from crashing. So also a couple things have changed with the scripts in terms of enemies chasing you. Now the anglerfish grant you points, and when you eat them they give you points towards your growth meter, and when your growth meter reaches a certain point you basically grow in size dramatically and are able to chase around the sharks and the eels, which give you more points, which basically it's like an XP bar, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to start this up right now. And one thing I noticed is that with the addition of an eat script, I basically added it so that when an enemy is chasing you and an enemy runs into you, you essentially die. Unfortunately, as you can tell, anything that references the cuttlefish or the main player, when the main player is destroyed, that too is unfortunately they're just going to give you bugs because of lack of reference, so we'll need to flesh that out soon. Another thing that we are having trouble with right now is collision detection. Basically, when I had the rigid body on the cuttlefish, it would basically hit the ground and just start rolling uncontrollably for no reason, almost as if you were in a vacuum, which I guess technically you kind of are. So to counteract that, I basically restricted the movements of the cuttlefish so that when it hits something it doesn't, either it doesn't rotate or move. And unfortunately it works fine for sphere and box colliders, but for a mesh collider like the ground floor and everything like that, that's basically where the trouble is. So yeah, I'm eating these guys right now and they are giving me growth points towards my meter, and that right there was the ink spray that Chris has put in, which boosts your speed and if done correctly will actually, when we implement it, it will actually cause your enemies to freeze because they can't see. So I'm just looking for the last anglerfish. Where it is. Ah, here it is. So, yep. Now I have grown dramatically, as you can tell, and instead of just growing every time you eat a anglerfish, you will basically have to eat a certain number in order to gain a level, essentially. Much like an RPG. And there I just devoured the eel and the shark because evolution. So now my mass has increased, that's also been scripted, so now I can move this boulder to a bigger size, and that I basically moved there because it just would not stop rolling if I put it anyplace else. So what we're going to do as for the end game mechanic for this level is that we're going to put it so there will be a collision trigger, so that also you can see the still fleshing out the collision detection with the, but essentially what's going to happen at the very end, we are going to move the boulder and you'll go through a small hole and that will end the level. And of course we can just add more sharks, more eels, just to make the thing more challenging. Hopefully make the scene a bit bigger because as you can see it's pretty small right now. So, and of course flesh out the collision detection issues, because one thing I have noticed was that when the shark and the eel collided at a certain speed, they would fly off in opposite directions, unfortunately. So that will have to be fleshed out as well. So that's pretty much it for now. Shouldn't be anything too complicated for us to fix. Thank you very much for watching.